Hi everybody, I just wanted to kind of go over the homework assignments and everything for you one more time as well, because I know a lot of you were feeling a bit overwhelmed with everything and I wanted to make it a little bit clearer for you. Okay, first off, I would like you to remember that if this were a regular 8-week class, meaning it wasn't a hybrid class, it was a regular 8-week class, we would be meeting for another 2.5 hours in class this week. We would meet for 2.5 hours on Monday and 2.5 hours on Wednesday. Since we are not physically in class together though on Wednesday for English 101, that means that you have that 2.5 hours we should have met to work on your online work and begin your first paper. Okay, that's what hybrid means. It means you don't physically have to be in class in order to get the work done, that you can do it at your own pace, at your own leisure, but it's a minimum of 2.5 hours that you need to be giving to this class. Then when you add on the fact that most college students need to spend roughly 2 hours of studying for every 1 hour they have in class, which for us it's 5 hours a week, then you should probably be dedicating about 10 hours of work for this class every single week, so between the Mondays. So you don't have a full 10 hours worth of work before next Monday, but I would say you probably have at least, 4 to 5 hours in order to complete your assignments well and to really think through your chapters when you read them so that you can be working hard and understanding exactly what we're doing in class on next Monday. So with all of this in mind, I want to spend a few minutes going over some of these details. Okay, first off, we spent a lot of time talking about this writing process here. So there were a series of 5 steps. The first one, we got the initial thoughts on our topic, and that was when we did the quick write, where I asked you to write me a paragraph on what were your expectations of yourself and of me. Then we spent some time working in those small groups, exploring our ideas in depth, which is an expectation for you in chapter 1. It talks about these things called pump primer techniques. That's what you're actually using. Then the third thing is you start to create a comprehensive list of ideas, and those are the ones that I put in the actual PowerPoint slide when I listed off all of the information. Then we organized our thoughts into categories, like we took the concept of being professional and we started, as our category title, we started to put behaviors that show and exhibit professionalism. And then I kind of showed you a general outline process. So you would take those categories and put them into that outline, okay? And we went with 3 categories and trying to have 3 supporting details for each of those categories. So for your first paper, this is kind of what you want to do, kind of a step-by-step process. First off, you want to complete the This I Believe survey and do the quick write prompts. Then do the writing practices survey and do those writing prompts that are on that document as well. Then I want you to use the pump primer technique, again from chapter 1 of your textbook, to explore each of the ideas that you came up with in 1 and 2 from your This I Believe and your writing practices survey. Then I want you to review another document that I have here. I'm going to minimize this for a second, and it's called your writing inventory. Again, I found this by going into my in-class work right here, and I clicked on class recaps, week 1 in class, and I come down here to the writing inventory. And here is this document. Again, I showed it to you in the other video, but it has a series of bullet points. And what I want you to do is I want you to use that writing inventory to help you create a master list of your ideas. Then I want you to organize those ideas into your categories, and that writing inventory could help you find your category titles, okay? And then I want you to create a general outline for your paper. Now I'm going to be honest with you, it's not going to be perfect. I'm not expecting this to be perfect. Remember, our next class is October 24th. The first actual draft of your paper that you're giving to me isn't for 2 weeks. It isn't until Halloween on October 31st, okay? And I expect it to be a little scary, ha ha ha, pun intended there. But it is going to be a little scary. It's the first time you're doing it, and it's really okay. Don't get caught up on anything having to be perfect. Don't worry about perfect. How many times have I already made mistakes for you in this class? It doesn't have to be perfect, but what you have to do is be willing to say, hey, I screwed it up. Let me figure out how I can do it better, and then take the steps to fix it. And that's what I want. So bring in a general outline for your paper. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you do have to have something in. Okay? Do you understand that? You must have something. Anyway, due by Monday, October 24th. It's again chapters 1, 2, and 3. We're completing the steps for 1 through 6 of your first paper. Or, I'm sorry, that should be 1 through 5. See, I just made a mistake, and I'm realizing it's a mistake, and I'm making the change. And then finally complete the out of work for week 1, the out of class work. And again, if I go into Blackboard and I go into the hybrid work part, out of class work, I click on week 1 out of class work, and here are my assignments. Okay, so hopefully this will help you. Again, if you are still feeling lost or confused, please send me an email and we will find some time to talk. Okay, thanks so much, and I look forward to talking to you. See you on Monday.